Good morning, greetings, and welcome to The Bright Side, your nutritional program dedicated to the understanding of the vast world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. I'm your host, Pharmacist Ben, nutritional pharmacist from Boulder, Colorado. I use nutritional supplements where other healthcare practitioners use toxic pharmaceutical drugs and sometimes deadly medical procedures. If you suspect there are natural nutritional roads to your health and vitality and well-being and to addressing your health challenges, whatever they may be, but you don't know where to begin, you have come to the right place. As you listen to The Bright Side every day, you are more and more in control of your body, you are more and more knowledgeable, and you know you can overcome any health issue. That is why we are here every day on The Bright Side, helping clear up the sometimes confusing world of nutrition and nutritional supplementation. Over the last 32 years of practicing pharmacy, I have seen drug-free recoveries from diabetes, hypertension, obesity, skin diseases like psoriasis, eczema, rosacea, acne, digestive ailments, autoimmune issues of all kinds. Recoveries that by the standards of modern medicine can only be called a miracle, but what is in the world of the body, what is in the world of biology, standard operating procedure. Because the human biological system is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it is designed divinely to heal and renew itself on a moment-to-moment basis. And while some folks may call that a miracle, it really is just the way the body works. If you have questions about health, nutrition, prescription drugs, let us help you. If you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, likewise, we are here for you at 844-236-6010. 844-236-6010. Let us help you leverage, take advantage of the built-in healing powers of the human body. Not to cure your disease, to reverse your disease, because it is in the body's nature to reverse all chronic disease, to want to go back to a certain level of stability and thrival. It's in the body's nature to want to thrive. It's in the body's nature to bypass, to go past survival and go into thrival. That's what we should be doing with our lives, is thriving, not barely surviving. We got a medical model that will take care of that. This program here, everything we talk about in this program is the straight talk about nutrition from a biochemistry perspective. If you're listening to this program right now, you are almost by definition not buying into the standard memes, the standard beliefs about how to take care of your body. Here's the truth for you. Our health models, our health protocols, our health ideas, our health strategies, how to take care of ourselves, our lessons about how to take care of ourselves, and our cultural messaging that we get through advertisements, commercials, and media and authorities, health gurus, are for the most part wrong. For the most part, it's bad information, and it's even disinformation. It's manipulative. That's what disinformation is. Disinformation is wrong information that's foisted upon us for manipulative reasons. And I'm not going to go so far as to say it's all disinformation. Most of it's probably misinformation. But there's disinformation too. And this is why well-meaning physicians who get their information from the drug salespeople, yes, they do. They get their information from the kind lady or man who works for the drug company who comes in to call on them. That's where most physicians get their information. And well-meaning they may be, well-meaning as they may be, they, in good conscience and with intellectual rationality, they can poison their patients' bodies to make them better. It's because of misinformation and disinformation. It's why so many of us are sick and overweight and unhappy, despite having more medicalizing and national health care and diagnostics and doctoring, more than any other culture in the history of the world. And we are simultaneously, at the same time, we are the sickest, most overweight, most unhappy, most unhealthy culture ever. And this is why I do The Bright Side every day, to give you the logical, common sense, biochemically rational, as in, when I say biochemistry, I mean biochemically, I mean the chemistry of our biology. We're biological beings that run on chemistry and even more fundamentally on electricity, as we've been talking about. Every day we talk about these common sense or biochemically sensible based strategies for reversing disease. And they work not because I'm smart, not because I said so, but because the body is biochemistry. It's all in the pathways. It's all in the biochemical pathways. And these biochemical pathways in the body are always adaptive. This is how the system works. We have to get this through our heads, especially if we're sick. The system wants to adapt. It's always adjusting to its environment. If we are in a nutritionally deficient, or our bodies are in a nutritionally deficient biochemical environment, they're going to downregulate. This is as simple as it is, folks, from a nutritional standpoint anyway. When there's not enough nutrients present, the body downregulates. It shuts down. And even worse, once it's shut down, it doesn't repair damage as well. Inflammation accrues. That's where we get sick. From a nutritional standpoint, it's simply nutritional deficiencies leading to downregulation, and the opposite, nutritional abundance. A nutritionally abundant biochemical environment tends towards upregulation, towards growth, towards repair. From a physical perspective, nutrients make us better, deficiencies make us worse, drugs have nothing to do with it. Nothing. There's nowhere in the equation for a prescription drug. I am a registered pharmacist, CO 12275, and I'm telling you this as somebody who studied drugs for 30 plus years. They don't fit into the equation. They got inserted, maybe initially if in good conscience, but now it's just because of that's the way the system is, and there's a lot of money to be made in it. Food choices, nutritional supplementation, and the digestive system from the mouth to the other end, including the stomach and the intestine and the liver and the gallbladder, the appendix, the pancreas. This is how we obtain and remove and assimilate and incorporate these nutrients into our body. So you get the nutrients, and then you got the digestive system. Folks, this is not complicated. This is extremely simple. You got the nutrients that the body needs. We know what they are. They're the mighty 90 essential nutrients. They're quality protein, they're quality fat, and quality fiber and water and maybe carbohydrates. Although the carbs are probably the least important. And they're the mighty 90 essential nutrients. And then it's the digestive system, because that's how you extract the stuff and assimilate the stuff. By the way, that is a miracle right there, folks. How the body turns yesterday's lunch into our arms and legs is a miracle. Well, we don't have to think about it. Do you ever even just pay a little bit of attention to that idea that we are made up of the food we eat? How does the food get turned into us? Just put that in the category of miracle. We don't have to think about it. It happens on its own. This is the testimony to the wisdom and the divine intelligence of the human body that knows what to do. It turns yesterday's lunch into us, and even if we have stage 4 cancer and our body is deteriorating dramatically, it's still doing that. It's still, or at least attempting to do that, to turn yesterday's lunch into today's body. That's a miracle. It happens on its own. It's your proof and testimony that the body knows what it's doing. We just got to provide it with the raw material and work on the digestive system and help stabilize the energy production, because it's all about energy. Energy comes from primarily from blood sugar. So keep your blood sugar stable so your body can utilize energy without having stresses on it. And then, speaking of stress, manage the whole stress response. And when I say manage, I don't mean zero stress. I mean manage as in a little bit of stress without letting it get out of control, because a little bit of stress is good. Stress is your friend. I did a video a couple days ago on exfoliation in the skin. And by the way, you can check out our skin health products at truthtreatments.com. And I would encourage you to get on our Facebook page, our Truth Treatments Facebook page, and also hashtag Truth Treatments on Instagram. We do Facebook and Instagram Lives where we talk a lot about skin. Anyway, exfoliation is a classic example of how the body responds to stress on the skin. Slight amounts of stress stimulate connective tissue in the skin. Slight amounts of stress stimulate the skin barrier and moisture factors. Likewise, the muscles. When you walk uphill, you build up your hamstrings and your quads. When you lift weights, you build up your biceps and your triceps. When you do aerobic exercise, you build up your heart. Stress is a good thing, and managing stress is just as important as taking care of your blood sugar and taking care of food and the digestive system, and it's not complicated, folks. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben, 84423.
Are you afraid to...
Okay, we're back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Sorry to be on my high horse this morning. I just got really ticked off. I saw a commercial. I've been seeing these commercials, AARP. I like AARP. I actually got my AARP card a few years ago. And they do good work, I imagine. But now they're running commercials about how bad the drug companies are. Not because the drug companies are poisoning America, but because they want to charge you a lot of money. I say great. Let them charge so much money, nobody buys the drugs anymore. Now, I understand you need drugs sometimes. Yes, I'm not Pollyannish about it. You need antibiotics sometimes. You probably need pain pills sometimes. As a matter of fact, I think every medicine cabinet should have some Percocet in it or some oxycodone in it because you never know when you're going to need it. And nobody likes pain. But the medicine that we take chronically, the medicine that we take, that we have to take for our blood pressure, our circulation, those are drugs you need to wean yourself off of. Not just stop taking. As I said yesterday, not just stop taking because we've been mucking up our biochemical milieu, our environment, the biochemical environment of our bodies for decades for some of us. You can't just stop taking your drugs. They're keeping you in the game. But the object should not be to stay on drugs the rest of your life. Doctors say exactly that. You're going to be on this drug the rest of your life. Not, we're going to figure out what's wrong and we're going to get you off of the drugs. They say you're going to be on it the rest of your life. Nothing says ignorant medical model more than a physician who says you're going to be on this the rest of your life. And I shouldn't even say ignorant. That's just what they do. It's not that they are ignorant, yes, but we can't fault them. We can't fault the medical model for what it is. A scorpion is a scorpion. That's what it is. And the medical model, of course, through surgery and heroic medicine serves a great purpose. And I'm glad we have that. And praise God for, emergency surgeries. That's great. I'm talking about chronic long-term illness that are based in a broken down biochemical milieu. And by not making that distinction, we suffer. By not making the distinction between ambulatory medicine, the medicine that the medicine where you walk, ambulate means to walk, where you walk into the doctor's office and walk out of the doctor's office, where you walk into the pharmacy and walk out of the pharmacy, that's called ambulatory medicine, is distinct from heroic medicine. By not making that distinction, we suffer because we think the doctor can do anything. And that's why we get a rash. We immediately go to the dermatologist. We get a tummy ache. We immediately go to the GI or the GP or our family doctor. We immediately feel a problem with our body, whatever it is. We go to the doctor. We don't even have to feel a problem with our body. We go to the doctor. I got a letter. I get all these letters. Ben at ksco.com if you want to send a letter. I try to answer as many as I can, but it's very difficult. Anyway, this gal says, Debbie says, my husband has been after me to contact you about my situation. I developed an intolerance to many foods in my adulthood and don't know what to do other than avoid everything. I have reactions ranging from face acne, rashes, achy bones to heart palpitations. Well, those are all classic stress responses and immune responses. Her body's reacting. Yes, that's true. She's smart enough to know that it's related to food, by the way. Most people don't. It seems by process of elimination I can't have onions, garlic, most all seasonings except black pepper, non-iodized salt. No seafood, no grass food. She can't. It seems like she can't do anything, right? Wrong. She's got a classic case of dysbiosis and small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO. I'm going to write back to her and tell her. She needs to be on a probiotic supplement. She needs to be eating a lot less food, of course. She needs digestive enzymes and apple cider vinegar. She needs lecithin. She needs to be building and strengthening her digestive system. This sounds like you. If you can't eat, if there's no foods you can eat, you got a digestive problem, and it starts off with the bacteria, dysbiosis. There is no doctor on planet Earth that can make a difference here. There's no medicine on planet Earth that can make a difference here. But we can do it ourselves. She can do it herself. She can change her life in 24 to 48 hours. She can be a new woman. Of course, it's going to take longer to completely resolve the problem, but she can start to notice significant differences once she starts protecting her gut and eating foods that have enzymes in them and using digestive enzymes with her foods, etc. That's how simple it is on the one hand, and that's how troubling it is on the other, that we don't have We just don't have access to that information, or we're not told that information. And you guys, if you're listening to this program, you're the cream of the crop. If you haven't turned this off because you think I'm self-righteous or it's too complicated or too much chemistry, you're the cream of the crop, folks. I commend you. From a physical perspective, you'll know you're on the right track when you feel better. When you feel better, you'll know you're on the right track. And the good news about all the stuff we talk about, the bright side about all the stuff we talk about here in this program, is you'll feel better quickly. And the sicker you are, the faster you turn it around. Even if it takes a long time to do it, it may take you 6 months or a year. You could begin to make a difference in your life or in somebody else's life almost right away, within 24 to 48 hours for most people, especially in a nursing home, especially old folks. If you want the straight scoop on nutrition, don't study nutrition. Don't study food. Don't study diet. That's where the bad information comes from. That's why it's always changing, by the way. Have you ever noticed how a lot of this information is always changing? It's because people aren't studying the one truth that's underneath all of the observations about food and diet and beliefs about food and diet. Cholesterol being a classic example. You want to study chemistry. You want to study biochemistry, or you want to consult somebody who studies chemistry. Consult somebody who studies biochemistry. It's in the biochemistry. It's in the organic chemistry. It's in the physical chemistry. That's what we focus on every day. If you're listening to this program, you're getting some hardcore PChem, physical chemistry, biochemistry, organic chemistry. That's what you have to focus on. We've been talking about the minerals now for probably a month, 2 months. And I like talking about the minerals because they're so confusing to people. They're the most confusing of all of the nutrients are the minerals. And at the same time, they're the most fundamental of all the nutrients. They are the basics through which everything comes from. The vitamins come from the minerals. The phytonutrients come from the minerals. The protein comes from the minerals. The fats come from the minerals. It all starts with the minerals, the most misunderstood of the entire milieu, the entire nutrition or mighty 90 essential nutrient milieu. The vitamins are cool, for sure. They do all kinds of things, but they're already complicated. They're already complex, I should say. They're already got a lot of working parts to them. The minerals, they're fundamental. They're basic. The components of the minerals, the thing about the minerals that makes them so confusing is they're so electrically active. That means they bounce around. They do lots of different things. The electrical activity is what makes them so important, and the electrical activity is what makes them so confusing. It makes them more active in the body than you would think because you're only using 50 milligrams of zinc, for example. You're only using 2 milligrams of copper, for example. I mean, 2 milligrams, if you could just see what 2 milligrams is, 2 milligrams is roughly a grain of salt is probably 2 milligrams. It might be a little more. That might be 3 milligrams or 4 milligrams. So you're talking about a grain of salt, a half to 1 grain of salt, completely changes the biochemistry of the body. The entire gallon plus of blood in the body is totally changed by a speck of copper. Even less of some other substances, of things like chromium or selenium, or even things like the weird ones like hafnium. Just these tiny amounts of molybdenum or manganese completely change the biochemistry of the body because they're so electrically active. They're changing the electrical nature of the body. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. Side. Pharmacist Ben here. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls in just a moment, so hang tight. Purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com, and sign up to join the Brightside Ben team if you can, or if you'd like to. Love to have you on the team for a one-time $25 fee. You can make some money. You can start a longevity business. You can help spread the word about the power and importance of a good nutritional supplement program. And it is actually, now that I think about it, a $30 fee. They raised the price by $5. Still an amazing deal. You can also get your products at the wholesale price if you so desire. All right, let's see here. Social emotional stress and autoimmune disease. Social stress elevates pro-inflammatory cytokines, those are chemicals, worsens autoimmune disease symptoms in mice, according to research by Mary A. Mager, PhD at Texas A&M University. There is such an important relationship between our emotions and how we feel and our immune system in our bodies. There's no way to get around it. When you are in anxiety, when you have anxiety, your blood sugar goes up, your cortisol goes up, your stress hormones go up, your immune system is suppressed, you become more susceptible to cancer, you become more susceptible to inflammatory diseases and autoimmune diseases, according to this article, which was published in Medscape Medical News, autoimmune diseases and the stress response. How do you dampen down the stress response? Well, everything you do that's good for you is going to dampen down the stress response. Remember, a little bit of stress is good. You don't want to completely shut it down. But one of the best things and quickest things you could do is slow, deep, rhythmic, SDR, nasal breathing. I added nasal in there because it's very important to recognize that when you breathe through your nose, you activate the relaxation response. Breathing through your mouth doesn't give you that advantage because you have relaxation chemicals located above your nose, in your inner nose. Yes, you have an inner nose that is a big, big area on top of your head, in the front of your head and inside, right above your nose, called your inner nose. You can even feel it when you're breathing deeply through your nose. It's relaxing. It's the most delicious feeling. Everybody who has an autoimmune disease, if you don't have a prescription for SDR nasal breathing, you've been hoodwinked by the medical model. And while we're at it, don't forget about meditation. I am going to be spending a lot of time talking about meditation because that is so important. I was just reading the Oakland Athletics baseball team is now doing meditation as a team. The Seattle Seahawks won a couple Super Bowls doing meditation. I mean, they incorporated meditation into their programs. Athletes are incorporating meditation into their programs. Yes, it's not, you don't have to be religious. It's not Buddhism. It's health. There are mindfulness, there are university, including Johns Hopkins University and Harvard University and UCLA Medical School. All of these medical schools and universities have mindfulness programs. You can get a degree in mindfulness. They have mindfulness departments. Mindfulness is a type of meditation. This is so important, people. This is the real deal. Meditating for 2 minutes a day. And when I say meditation, I'm not talking about taking a walk, as good as that could be. Some people say, well, I meditate when I'm walking. That's great, but that's not meditation. Meditation is activating your alpha brainwaves. And you activate your alpha brainwaves with various strategies. Walking can conceivably do it. But and there are walking meditations, of course, but you have to make sure you're focusing on activating alpha brainwaves and theta brainwaves too. You got alpha, you got 4 main brainwave states, although you have more. You got 4 main ones, and they vary in speed. The fastest ones are the ones most of us live in, and we need those because those are involved in problem solving. But those are the ones that activate the stress response. The beta brainwaves most of us live in. You want to go alpha as much as possible. Babies are an alpha. Alpha and theta. Delta is deep sleep. And there's a few other ones, but those are the 4 main ones. Delta is deep sleep. Alpha and theta is hypnagogic, they call it. Relaxing, hypnotic, dreamlike. It's a beautiful state to be in. It's where we want to be in when we take a vacation. You ever notice how you need a vacation from your vacation? It's because you took your beta state with you. You can go into alpha and theta anywhere. And it's better than a vacation. It's what you want from the vacation. To vacate means to vacate beta and go into alpha and theta. And one of the fastest ways to go into alpha is to practice your SDR, intranasal breathing. If you have an autoimmune disease, it's an amazing, wonderful, non-toxic, non-allergenic, non-pharmaceutical, non-medical way to activate, to turn on the healing and anti-inflammatory system that's built in. That's the key. It's built into the body. All right, 844-236-6010. Barry's been holding on for a while, and I love talking to Barry because you are one smart dude there, Barry. What's going on? How can we help you? You're one of my favorite guys to talk to, I got to tell you.
Oh, really, really.
Plus, you always say nice things about me, so that helps.
Yeah. But like I said, man, I realize I know maybe 1/1000 of whatever this be known. But my friend that, like I told you, I had a friend who they thought it was a mild stroke, but now they don't really know what it was. And her symptoms she's been having is light sensitivity. Her eyeballs have been feeling heavy, and also her temple headache. So,
it sounds like it could have been a stroke. It definitely is. She moving funny at all?
No.
Does she have all her like she can move her limbs correctly and they all move correctly, and her fingers and all that stuff, and her feet and hands and toes?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's moving correctly. So no neural damage. Right?
No, she hasn't had anything, everything's been fine. They just don't know what it was. They thought
here's a couple things. Here's a couple ideas for you. First of all, she's definitely inflamed. You want to quiet the inflammatory system down. So a couple ways you do that. Number one is with food, the most obvious, and that means going as best as she can, low-calorie, ketogenic, soups, a lot of building substances, nutrient-dense building substances. That's number one. Staying away from anything that's a problem food. The Mighty 90 essential nutrients for sure. And then I would also be doing a couple other things. Exercising a little bit, starting to get some strength. What that's basically doing is telling the body it's got to work. This is what I was talking about earlier when I talked about stress. You got to tell the body it has to work. Now, you got to be careful because it's also got to heal, so you don't want to overdo it. So you got to put a little bit of stress into the system so she can start to regenerate blood vessels and start to grow and repair. You with me on that? But she's got to be careful. Can't overdo it. But a little bit of stress on the system. Focus on fats. Very important for building and repair, especially the ultimate EFAs, high doses of those. I'd also be using digestive enzymes with all meals, and digestive enzymes on an empty stomach may be helpful too. And then a couple other added things that she might want to do is vitamin E, 400 to 800 international units a day. Alpha lipoic acid, incredibly important for the nervous system and for the brain and for the eyes. And then all alpha lipoic acid, maybe 400 milligrams a day. And then everything that you can think of for the electrical parts of the body. And that would include the amino acid taurine, zinc, vitamin C, all the minerals, of course, particularly magnesium, especially if if she did have a stroke, if she has any kind of cardiovascular issues. Magnesium's awesome stuff. Barry, why don't you hang on? We'll finish up when we come back from our break, and we'll take the rest of our calls as well. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side, talking to Barry. Let's get Barry up here. Barry.
Yeah. Yes.
So basically, what your friend has to do is build her body. And it's not anything you don't have to do or I don't have to do. Just to build her body. So specifically, keto diet, low calorie, a little bit of stress, relax the body, slow deep breathing, Mighty 90 essential nutrients. I would throw in a few of the electrical things like vitamin E and alpha lipoic acid. Selenium wouldn't hurt her. Staying away from anything that messes up her digestive system, that goes without saying for sure. And, eating like a regular standard American, using the SAD or ingesting or enjoying the SAD is definitely verboten. I would not be going anywhere near that. Veggie juices also. See what I'm saying? It's just basically building the body back up again. That would be my strategy. Anything else, my friend?
It's funny you mentioned the ketogenic because, like I said, they don't know what she had, but I remember she told me they told her
ketoacidosis.
No, they told her to stay away from the ketogenic diet.
That's the misinformation and disinformation, and you know what? When you have two opposing pieces of information, I'm sorry to say this, Barry, okay? Listen to me. This is important. And everybody listening to this program, now listen to this. This is important. When you have two opposing pieces of information, that confronts you and forces you and compels you to do the research. Do you follow me? And chief among the research, you had to do the academic research, and that means listening to programs and reading and studying and understanding, and then also experiential research, testing things out yourself. And I'm sorry to say this because we want people to tell us what to do, but the problem with telling us what to do, with people telling us what to do, Barry, is there's so many people telling you different things. You follow me? So I'm telling you the ketogenic diet's great. Her doctor said stay away from the ketogenic diet, okay? Now, I don't know her as well as her doctors, but in general, I don't know her specific, but in general, when you're got a condition like this, the ketogenic diet is great. They said no. So what do you do? How do you answer that question? There's a dilemma here, right? Got two opposing points of view. It forces you to do the research. There's no other option. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the research can be something as simple as just trying it out yourself, which is great. That's an excellent thing to do. But I would do everything. I would do all the research. When we're sick, this is an opportunity and also a requirement if we're serious about getting better. If we're serious about getting better when we're sick, it's an opportunity and it's a requirement to do the research. Not listen to Ben, pharmacist Ben, not listen to your doctor. Use all of the things we're talking about. Run it through your BS detector, because we all had a BS detector. Run it through your BS detector. If it clears the BS detector, and be open-minded, start to do the research on it. That is my suggestion, and that's always my suggestion. You never want to, I always, when I hear something I like or something I think makes sense, I always do the research on it. All right, Barry, I want to get to a few more calls. Does that help?
Yes.
All right, my friend. Talk to you soon. All right, Peter in Nebraska has been holding on a really long time. What's going on, Peter? How you doing?
Yes. Hello, Ben. Thank you for taking the call. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
I'm just trying to help out a friend here who has ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease.
You said that very well. That's very good. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. It really tells you everything. The name tells you exactly what it is. It's basically a hardening of the nerves that run along the spine, that are connected to the spine and the muscles in that area. And that messes everything up. It's a sclerosis. The amyotrophic lateral doesn't matter. That's the area. The sclerosis is the part that matters, like multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is when you have sclerosis everywhere. The key word is the sclerosis. You with me?
Okay. Yep.
Sclerosis tells you that there is chronic attack. When tissue is sclerotic, when you have sclerosis, you have narrowing and hardening and excessive growth, which is a protective mechanism. The body protects itself by scleroting. Are you with me?
Yes. Okay.
Serious. I want to make sure. Are you sure that makes sense? Sclerosis is protection. It's like an inflammation, sort of.
Okay.
So the key is why is the body protecting itself? Right. What is the body protecting itself from? Well, when the body protects itself, it protects itself from the blood. This is why I always talk about dirty blood. When you have sclerosis or fibrosis or some kind of excessive cell division or growth as a protective response, or any kind of inflammation really, you have dirty blood. You got something that's getting into the blood. ALS, like all chronic degenerative diseases, is dirty blood. So then the question is, how does the blood get dirty? Well, is the person injecting stuff into their blood IV? Well, if that happens, you can get a sclerotic condition and a chronic inflammatory condition, and they're associated with IV drug users or even vaccines. But I'm going to assume that that's not the case with this person.
No. Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay, so then, most of us aren't doing that. So how else does the blood get dirty? Through the food. So what you do is you start to change the person's diet and you start to work on the digestive system. That's job number one for ALS patients and all chronic disease patients. If you don't do that first, nothing else is going to be as effective. You with me? Now, it's not like you don't do I say first, but I don't mean it in a sequence. I mean first in importance. You got to do a lot of it together. You with me? It's not just the digestive system of the food, but that's first in terms of priorities. Then you got to get on liquid nutrition. Lots of it, because their digestion's probably compromised. So I'm talking soups, bone soup. Just bone soup will change his life. Just the Beyond Tangy Tangerine will change his life. Why? And vegetable juices, homemade. Why? Because for the first time, he's going to get his blood saturated, drenched with nutrients. Can you feel that? Can you picture that? You know what I'm saying here, Peter? It's going to be like a dry plant in the desert being given water. Just the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That alone. But if you do the BTT, bone broth, smoothies, concentrated smoothies, bone broth protein. You got to be really careful with smoothies. I should talk about that one of these days. But so I don't talk about them a lot. But concentrated protein, if he knows what he's doing, and then also vegetable juices, especially the watery vegetable juices. Remember, we talked about the electricity that's in the watery levels. ALS is an electrical thing. It's a neural thing. So lots of electrical nutrients. BTT's electrical, veggie juices are electrical. And then, of course, the Mighty 90 essential nutrients. I would be throwing in alpha lipoic acid, which is for the nervous system, as we were talking before with our last caller. But generally speaking, you want to focus on digestive health and eliminating anything that's making the blood toxic, and then high-powered, nutrient-dense liquids that are rapidly absorbed. All right?
Okay, very good.
Anything else? Okay, good. All right, you know what else? If he's got money and he really wants to do it right, IV glutathione and IV vitamin C, intravenous glutathione and intravenous vitamin C.
Liposomic.
Liposomic's okay. The liposomic's okay. Not as good as IV though.
Okay.
Take care, Peter.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. All right, Dorian in Virginia. What's going on, my friend?
Doing well. Just calling about erectile dysfunction for my dad.
Erectile dysfunction. Think male hormones and think circulation. Those are the two biggest issues. Circulatory system and male hormones. Insulin is the enemy of male hormones. Sugar is insulin. I'm using those terms equivalently. They're not the same thing, of course. But when your sugar goes up, and you're eating a lot of sugar, your insulin goes up. Elevated insulin, that is insulin resistance, and testosterone are opposites. Insulin is like a growth substance. When you become resistant to insulin, you become resistant to growth substances, and testosterone is a growth substance. So insulin resistance is the enemy of testosterone. You know you're insulin resistant. You're making lots of insulin because you got a little bit of a beer belly. It's what happens to men when they get older. They get more of a beer belly. Body fat will produce estrogen, which also antagonizes testosterone. Getting rid of the body fat and going keto. And also lifting weights, and also nutrients, building nutrients, chromium, vitamin A, zinc, excuse me, amino acids, branched chain amino acids, getting in the gym. That would be my strategy. Then for the circulatory system is moving. Mighty 90 essential nutrients, excuse me, and then also just moving the body. Really important to get the circulation moving. If he's got cardiovascular issues, he'll help those with all of his anti-insulin resistant strategies, whoever this unfortunate person is. Thank you for your call, Dorian. Appreciate it. And we are flat out of time. Sorry if I left you on hold. Thanks for listening to The Bright Side. Check out all the longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. And we'd love to have you on the Bright Side team. Click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, or criticalhealthnews.com. And don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products at truthtreatments.com. Have yourselves a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.